So Kai Cenat has dropped a video on his main channel after being gone from streaming for quite some time. I think it's been like 2 or 3 months now. Of course, it wasn't a video about him actually quitting content creation, but it was a video about how he's gonna like quit doubting himself and quit stopping himself from, pursuing other things. Okay, I'll be honest, I didn't watch the video, but to be fair, it doesn't really have anything to do with what I want to talk about today. However, it is kind of the first event chronologically of everything that's happened that's kind of caused people to dislike him, or at least dislike him more than they already did. Now, alongside dropping this video on his main channel talking about his life, what he's going through, and what he's trying to do, he also revealed a secret channel that he had not talked about previously called Kai's Mind. Actually, what is he even saying in this video, bro?
So, bye.
Are you fucking kidding me? This is going to be an interesting video. Holy shit, man. Now, this Kai's Mind channel kind of just serves as like a video journal for him. At least I feel like that's what it was meant to be. He's just kind of picking up the camera, vlogging what he's doing, and just, showing the process of his journey trying to learn how to make clothes, which is his new big endeavor that everyone is kind of talking about right now, is Kai Cenat's new clothing brand. I believe the brand is called Vivet or whatever the case is. I don't know, honestly. I do know that he's been talking about making clothes or making a clothing brand for at least some time now. Some of the videos are just kind of rants, him talking about content or just life or whatever. Some of them he's talking to someone else. A lot of them is him learning how to sew. And he also has a few on here where he is reading books to improve his speech. Now, this kind of brings me to the first thing I wanted to talk about, and it's the fact that people think that this whole thing of him reading books is extremely performative. And honestly, I think that is almost entirely wrong. I have been watching Twitch for literally 10 years, and I can tell you this right now. I have seen Kai Cenat when he was just the new guy in the AMP videos. And through his entire career, I have seen a lot of counts of people kind of talking about how he stutters or how he can't read and shit like that.
Hey, this nigga can't fucking read! I can't read!
So to be honest, I think this is a good thing for him. I think the fact that he's reading actually should be pushed more heavily. Because as it stands now, his demographic, which is largely kids, are probably better at killing me in Fortnite than they are reading. Now, this isn't the reason people are hating. People aren't hating just because he's making the videos, but they are hating because of how he acts in the videos. Now, we can actually pull an example from one of these reading videos.
Implementation intention is a strategy you can use. You can use pair a new habit with a specific time and location. The implementation intention formula is I will behavior and time and location.
I can understand why they are giving him so much shit for this. I mean, the guy did sit here, saw that his timer went off, saw that his alarm to stop reading went off, and he kept reading after it. But the problem is that he's like flexing his phone, making sure you're really seeing that the timer went off. I mean, he's kind of doing this for a studio audience that he knows he will eventually have. And of course, when he made these videos, he knew that they weren't. And of course, when he first made these videos and he was first recording them, he knew that, they weren't being seen by anybody as they were being uploaded over the 3 weeks that he was uploading them. But he knew that one day they would go public and that hundreds of thousands of people would be able to see them and find them. Which I feel like creates the question, would he act the same and would he have done this entire process the same way had he known that nobody would ever see the videos? And honestly, I think that's where all the hate is kind of stemming from. It's this idea of he wouldn't do this if he knew nobody would ever see it, which is, as they say, performative. Another big example of why people are dogging him is also because of one of these moments where he is working on his brand and then he says that he's using a 3DS to record. Now, after you see that he's mentioned the fact that he's recording off a 3DS, you have to ask yourself just like, why? Like, I really don't understand what the point of this is. But thankfully, he's actually already told us, because in his very first video, he says this.
The reason why I'm using a weird camera like this is I just want to show y'all that putting out content, you don't need the best thing in the world. So, bye.
He says that he's using camera qualities like this because he wants to show that you don't need the best stuff to succeed. Wow. This is actually a very true and very great point. And I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of content creators and streamers always, before they start, they'll buy some very, high quality equipment, good cameras, good lighting, all of this stuff, thinking that that is what they need to succeed, which isn't the case. That's a good point, Kai Cenat. However, we know for a fact that you do have better equipment. So there's kind of no reason to record on a 3DS, which is just lower quality and also just harder to get video footage off of. For him to upload this video and get the video off of that 3DS, I know for a fact you had to record it, take the SD card out, put the SD card in your PC, open it, drag it, do all this other bullshit. When I'm not gonna lie, you could have used a MacBook that is right in front of you in the video to just hit record and then upload it directly to YouTube off of that. And I have seen MacBook cameras. They're not good. So honestly, it probably would have been just as good if he hit record off the laptop as if he did it off the 3DS. I think he kind of was really going for swag points here. But again, this is just proving like it's not really the idea of what he's doing. It's not the fact that he's improving himself. It's not the fact that he's documenting it. It's the fact that it didn't need to be framed like this. I understand that in his mind, he thinks that this comes out, authentic. It feels real. It feels more raw. After the internet is, dogging you and hating on you for never being yourself. And even beyond all that, if he had just kept this to himself, at least for now, it would have been way cooler and he probably would have And I think that's the conclusion I'm drawing here. It's not the fact that he's documented the process or that he's recorded it off a 3DS or whatever. It's the fact that it's coming out right now. I think if he genuinely waited until his brand dropped, stayed more silent, and then dropped this exact channel down the road, after he's done more work, after more things have been done, after he's been gone longer. I mean, the guy's only been gone from just streaming. It's not like he's disappeared off the internet. He's only been gone from just streaming for 4 months. So people still have this fresh idea of you in their head, this idea of like who you are, what you do, your entire character, what they think of you. This is all still fresh on their mind. But I think if this dropped at a point of time where it was more like, you've already done the brand thing, you've already dropped the clothes, you've already learned how to sew, you've already fixed your speech. If you did it all and then dropped this for a way to like just look back, it would have been much cooler. And I think people would have appreciated it a lot more. But when you're still in the process of, doing these things, people can easily just write it off. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. They write off everything Kai Cenat does in the first place, but I'm not really here to talk about that. Damn, what was I talking about? I do also think it's a framing issue. I feel like he hasn't completely disconnected, content from just being himself entirely. Even though, I gotta admit, content is definitely part of him at this point, let's be honest. Because another thing that we're highly memeing him for was the video listening to Frank Ocean properly. And I genuinely do think that's hilarious. I mean, look at the title, bro. Every letter's capital like a YouTube title. You get the properly and the asterisks. Like, come on, this shit's hilarious, bro. Like, you knew this shit was gonna get memed. But let me just say this. At the end of the day, just let the man improve. I feel like that is the biggest thing I can say here while I'm sitting here in this video, having this platform, as small as it may be. Let this man improve, dude. Like, genuinely, I can't even believe that he garners and gathers so much hate for pretty much little to no reason a lot of the time. I mean, there are definitely reasons I will be like, okay, you hate him for that. I don't care. That's, what, I'll respect that. But it gets to a point. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of just gets to a point. I think what's going on is that the internet is evolving and we're getting like figures that we've never had before. We've never been able to just sit down and see the background of, someone, improving their life and all this other shit, like as a celebrity. And my point is that the internet has never been in a more parasocial state. So at the end of the day, I honestly don't think Kai Cenat did anything wrong here. In fact, I think what he's doing is actually pretty interesting, but I can admit, I do kind of feel like he is kind of forcing the authentic factor of this entire thing. I think he stepped very far outside of his character and outside of his regular box of content, that the internet reaction is very visceral, and honestly, that was to be expected, Kai. Like, let's be honest. And I feel like even if he was dead set on dropping this channel, like, and just revealing it right now, I feel like what he should have done is got rid of the reveal aspect of it. I feel like he should have left it up to the fans to find it. And I think once the fans and the internet find it themselves, I think it probably would have gathered a pretty similar reaction, but I don't think it would have been as bad as him just being like, hey, here's my channel. That's kind of documentary like, but also every single video or 95% of the videos have this trash or just lower quality camera because I wanted to feel like a good, you know, authentic documentary or found footage or whatever. I think it would have been like way more interesting if like the VHS and lower quality camera, 3DS camera shit was just kind of, you know, left as like a side thing. You know, if it was around, if it was available, you know, pop it open, or, you know, have somebody around you randomly pop it open to film while you're like truly off guard. But when you're kind of just filming yourself and you're filming yourself with this trash camera, it's a little odd. I think a good example of this would be actually Plaqueboy Max's vlog channel, which was kind of a mix of both. What Plaqueboy Max did was have his cameraman just randomly pop open the VHS camera to record him, even if he didn't know, or sometimes he did know, but either way, it was usually like just caught in a moment, or just in like an off guard moment, or just it was just like hiding in the back with the camera, with the VHS camera, mixed in with the Max, you know, filming himself off a phone or whatever. It's a little different when you're the one doing the entire process of, you know, you're sitting down to read a book and then you pop open a VHS camera to record it. It's a bit different, I'll be honest. But at the end of the day, do I think he deserves the crazy amount of hate? No. I think a lot of it is just kind of trolling and, you know, people getting their rocks off for views, which, I mean, maniac, guilty. But all in all, like I said, doesn't really deserve all the hate. I think he should have done it a little different, but at the end of the day, it's his choice. It's his career, and it's going to be his thing to look back on, you know, 10 years, 20 years down the line. Thanks for watching. Like, sub, follow my Twitch, follow my other channel. So I play games, but I get philosophical in the games. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I really do it all though. You know what I'm saying? Peace. I'll catch you in the next one.